Mr. President, members of the City Council, those in attendance, and all the citizens of Lafayette, it is my honor to deliver to you my State of the City address. I would like to begin by thanking all of our citizens. The strength of any community is its people. Our citizens are dedicated, committed, engaged, and are the foundation of our wonderful city. I would like to say thank you to you, the City Council members, who work diligently to better our community and to represent your constituents, and to all those who volunteer their time to serve on our many city boards and commissions. A sincere thank you to our department heads and team members who work every day to deliver outstanding city services. And a special thank you to all the staff here at Lafayette who performed exemplary during this recent snow emergency to clear our streets in a timely and efficient manner and to keep our city moving. And a special heartfelt thank you to Cindy Murray, our amazing clerk. I could not do my job without you, so thank you, Cindy, for what you do. As you are fully aware, one of the primary responsibilities of the City Council is to be the fiscal body and to ensure the wise use of our tax dollars. I am pleased to report that at the end of 2021, we were once again in a strong financial position. The current rainy day fund is at $6,289,212. If you recall, in 2004, the fund had $11,200 in it. Our cash operating balances have increased. We have developed investment and debt management policies that continue to work well. We have $6,227,412 in edit reserves, which brings our total in reserves to $12,516,624, which represents 28.7% of the general fund and 17.8% of the civil city budget. Our utility finances are in a strong position. Our tax increment financing districts have favorable and positive cash flow positions also. So that gives you some information on the finances. Thank you to Jeremy Deal. I'm ad-libbing now, but thank you to Jeremy Deal and his team and everyone that works to keep our tax rate very low, manage our money well, and we've done a tremendous job increasing our cash reserves over the last several years. I will now use a significant portion of my State of the City address to talk about public safety, and in fact to demonstrate how safe our community is, and to present an accurate and transparent accounting of crime statistics covering 20 years of data. I will present the information both orally and through the use of graphs. I feel the visual aids will be very helpful in putting the information into perspective. We will be discussing the Part 1 crimes that we report to the FBI and are considered the most serious offenses. They are homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, larceny, which is theft, auto theft, and arson. First and foremost, Part 1 crimes in Lafayette are down. They are not up, and they are down significantly. With the help of analyst Michael Lupa, we went back to 2002. That's 20 years of Part 1 crime data. And the fact is, in 2002, there were 3,400 Part 1 crimes, and in 2021, there were 2,254 Part 1 crimes. That is a 33% decrease from between that 20-year span. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you some graphs, and then I'm just going to walk back and forth. So the first graph I have here is total Part 1 crimes, going back to 2002 to 2021. So that gives you 20 years worth of data. not cherry picking any years, not leaving some years out, going back 20 years of straight data that went to the FBI. So as you can see, back in 2002, we had the 3,400 crimes that I talked about. And then in 2021, we were down in the 2,200 range. That's the 33% decrease that we have. And that kind of can show you on a chart, because I know sometimes it feels like we're just inundated with stories and data, right? We have our phones in our hands, we have phones, our TVs, our computers, everything, and you see crime, and you see crime, and you see stories, and pretty soon it can create that mindset that that crime is up, and in some parts of the country it is up, and it's up significantly, but we are not. And I'll give you a perfect example. This weekend I woke up and I went to my phone to check, and I went to one of our media outlets here, and picture police lights, first thing, police shoot man after holding children hostage, and I went, oh my God, what happened? Why didn't they notify me? So I start reading, and it's in Evansville, okay? And I understand our media partners, they report crimes from around the state of Indiana. I don't have any problem with that at all, but it's easy to get caught up in the noise and not really look at what's taking place. So, we started out over here. Right here, you see a big spike in Part 1 crimes. Crimes went up, like I said, not cherry picking anything, we're showing everything. This is the start of the opioid crisis. We had a huge spike in crime during the opioid crisis. Lots of people suffered during that. Overdoses were up. My guess is there's people in this room that have either lost a family member or had to deal with something involving the opioid crisis. The people got hooked on that in different ways and tried meth, tried heroin, and it was a really difficult period. We were working, doing the best that we could. As you know, in 2015, we started putting together our plan and implementing some of the plans that we had. 2016, we formally announced those. So just for some of the new council members and for refresh everybody's memory, we talked about adding police officers, adding detectives. We talked about what we were going to do with our street crimes unit. We talked about what we are doing with the intervention team. We created the community outreach division and the crime prevention division. We hired 2 analysts like Micah, who helped me put all this together to help predict crime. We also went down, created the ARC in the basement. I took a lot of you on a tour. So we announced those plans and we implemented them, and the fact is they're working. I mean, those things are working, and the opioid crisis has also subsided to some extent. And so what we're doing on the police department is working. But I also want to thank all of the citizens and also encourage them that reducing crime is a community effort. A policeman can only, and a city and a government can only reduce crime so much, right? We need to fund pre-K education. We need to pay our teachers. We need to make sure we have mental health and addiction services. Be nice if every kid had 2 great sets or 1 great parent, right? That could help them before they got to the stage where they're committing these crimes. If you want crime to really go down, society has to help. So when somebody looks at me and says, what are you doing to reduce crime? I'm polite and I'll tell them, and then I say, well, what are you doing? Are you volunteering at Hannah? Are you a big brother helping big brothers and big sisters? Are you helping Bauer Community Center? Are you going to do Read to Succeed? It takes the entire community to help keep these numbers where we want them and to improve the quality of life that we want to improve for all of our citizens. So that's that one. This one here is the same general graph, but by percentage. It goes back to 2002, goes forward to 2021. So this just shows you a little bit what the change was by percent up and down. And how it spiked, the ups, the downs, the opioids, and the implementation of our plans, and that's the 33% from one end of the graph. And just as we talked about on the other one, here's the spike, and right there we had a really huge dip, and not all crime is explainable. It's just not. I mean, it's just not why somebody commits a homicide sometimes, how somebody loses their temper. I mean, not all crime is just explainable for all the ups and downs. But so there's the chart that shows how it looked from a percentage change over the last 21 years. This next one is part one crimes over the last 5 years since we've implemented our all the plans that we put in place, all those things I was telling you about. So again, really interesting. So here's aggravated assaults. This is where our shootings are at. We know that our shootings are up, and we have to continue to work on that. But overall, in the last in the 5-year period, that and other assaults have actually went down enough that aggravated assaults as a whole are down 6%, which is really good. Arson, you don't see a bar for arson. It's not changed. It's not gotten any better. It's not gotten any worse. It's a very small number of crimes. It's not changed. I mean, that's just the reality of it. The next bar, is auto thefts. Auto thefts are up 29%. It's not something you hear a whole lot about, but the most we've had in a year out of the 20 years was 250. Most years are around 140 to 170. Kind of fluctuates. I'm not sure why. We're really looking into why this is up, but I will tell you that mopeds and mini bikes and little motorcycles are included in here. And so I noticed that some years moped accounted for 30-some% of the cases. So not that it's good if somebody gets their moped stolen, but it's not just cars and trucks. It's mopeds and those little motorcycle things that you can ride and stuff too. So that's how that number is. Then burglaries are way down. And that's wonderful, right? I mean, you get your house burglarized, that's a traumatic event. And to have burglaries down 26% means a lot to a lot of people that didn't face that crime. Homicides are up. So when you look at the last 5 years, we were at about 3.85, and we had a year where we had a 6 and a 7. So that bumped it 2. So because it's such a small number, between 3.85 and 6, it shows 26%, but that's the difference between 3.85 and 6. And, again, those are hard to explain. Most of those are people dealing drugs and getting involved in drug deals. You are still incredibly safe and very highly unlikely that you would be the victim of a serious violent crime in Lafayette if you were not dealing drugs or involved in some type of criminal activity. Not perfect, I'm not saying 100% because that's not true either, but it's minuscule. It's very small. Domestic violence plays a role in these sometimes, very unfortunately, but sometimes they play a role in that also. Fortunately, most of our shootings do not end up in homicides, obviously. And they fluctuate. I've got one of my sheets here that I'll talk about in just a minute to show you, ironically, the most homicides we've ever had in the last 20 years in 1 year is 7. And the only other time we've had 7 in Lafayette was in 1977. And the population was half of what it is now. There's no rhyme or reason for that. Sometimes human nature just happens. So larceny is down. Rape is down, and robbery is down. So those 4 that are down have stopped a huge number of citizens from being a victim of a crime. Most Part 1 crimes, 90% of all Part 1 crimes are burglary, larceny, and aggravated assault. They make up 90% of all Part 1 crimes, and all three of those categories are down. So I think that's a very useful chart as you look at the data over the years and how it can fluctuate. And here's the last one. This is Lafayette's population in regards to Part 1 crimes. I'll start over here on this side this time. As you know, our population has grown considerably. I think we were grossly undercounted in the current census. I don't think that our numbers are correct. I think our trend line would have been is closer to 75,000. They only are giving us about 70, and I don't think that's right. But we used the census data. Again, we didn't just populate our own. We used the official. Dennis Carson's intern helped Micah put that together. So if you look at our population in the gray, populations went up nicely. I said it's actually dipped a little bit there, which we certainly don't agree with, but we won't worry about that for now. And then here is the crime during the same period. So when you get over to here, even though our population has went up dramatically in the last 20 years, the crime, overall Part 1 crimes, has still went down in the last 20 years. So I hope these charts help you kind of understand what's really happened. The men and women of our department are doing a tremendous job. We have plans. There's things that we're doing that I've not even discussed tonight. It's just operationally sensitive, and it's not good to, but there are things that we're doing, and they're working. We just all have to keep working together. But I do think it's important that we keep in perspective what is actually taking place. All right, I'll conclude with some quick thoughts on that, then I'll move to the rest. Areas that we are still working on the most is shootings. And when we say shootings, not every time somebody shoots do they actually hit somebody, but they're all lumped in there together. So we are still working on that area. Fortunately, most of our shootings do not result in death, and the vast majority involve people that know each other and are involved in illegal narcotics trades. Again, homicides, we'll continue to try to reduce the shootings and other factors, but a lot of that is going to have to be society, right? We're all going to have to work together to stop a lot of those things from happening. And just tell you how that can fluctuate. So in 2002, we had 5 homicides. In 2021, we had 6. But we had some years in there were 0. We had some years in there were 4. I mean, it kind of goes back and forth. But if you drew a graph just of that, it would go up and down, but there's not huge variations in it for the last 20 years. So just to reiterate, crime is trending downward. The total number of Part 1 crimes is lower in 2021 than it was in 2002. 2021 was the lowest number of robberies, burglaries, and larceny in the past 20 years. We continue to find new and innovative ways to fight crime. Our $55 million public safety center is on track for completion in 2023 and will be a state-of-the-art facility with cutting-edge technology leading us into the 21st century to further address and reduce criminal activity. The new center will not only feature the best environment for law enforcement personnel to do their work, but will have a large public community room, an outdoor public park, and community spaces for interactions among our citizens with our police personnel. But it's not just technology and brick and mortar. It's about relationship building, community policing, and working with all of our citizens so fair and equitable treatment, safety, and a better quality of life for everyone. The men and women of the Lafayette Police Department are doing a tremendous job. The City of Lafayette's initiatives are working, but the reality is we need every citizen to do their part to keep this community safe. Be engaged, stay vigilant, because we are stronger together. My administration and I are firmly committed to public safety. It is our #1 priority, and I can tell you we are all in always on public safety. So we'll get to some of the other items here, and I know I've talked for a while, but I'll finish it up here in just a second. 2021 was an important year for finishing up significant projects. The beautiful new Loeb Stadium has hosted its first baseball season and many other events. The response from the community has been tremendous. The Columbian Park Lagoon and Memorial Island was completed, and it's amazing. The carousel building is complete and awaiting arrival of the new carousel this summer. The pedal boats are back and the train has been refurbished. Crosser Girls Softball Complex opened and had a wonderful first season. Our parks and recreation are in great shape, and we continue to focus on creating memorable experiences for people of all ages. Downtown is booming with nearly $100 million of projects under construction, with the South 8th Street development, Nova Tower, the Ellsworth, Luna Flats, among others that are either completed or under construction. Many new downtown businesses opened their doors this past year, further adding variety and diversity to our urban center. Our economy is strong and our businesses continue to invest in our community. Unemployment is at 1.5% for Lafayette, a tremendous turnaround from the recent pandemic high. Numerous groups and businesses are working on job training and workforce development across multiple platforms. Working with Tippecanoe County, West Lafayette, Greater Lafayette Commerce, and Purdue University, we continue to pursue new business opportunities for capital investment and job creation. We continue strong investments in our road, water, wastewater, and stormwater infrastructure, including a new public works campus to better serve Lafayette citizens so that we can react at the speed of business and to be prepared for the future. In addition, our utilities and sanitation department operate at high efficiency, keeping our city running smoothly. I'd also like to recognize the hardworking men and women of the Lafayette Fire Department who are always ready to serve and once again achieve the remarkable ISO rating of 2, putting them in the top just few percent of the entire United States. In conclusion, our community is well positioned for the future. We have great citizens, great team members, a strong business community, and a committed local building trades and craftsmen. We also have a compassionate and generous community that reaches out to help others. Our community provides endless opportunities to live, work, and play, and because of all of these reasons, Greater Lafayette was selected as the Indiana State Chamber of Commerce Community of the Year for 2021. So again, and thank you. So again, thank you to everyone for all that you do, and may God continue to bless our community. Thank you, everyone.